we just finished our weekly spirit guide. Put the belongings back in my abode, aside from my red diamond tea and my dinosaur cup. Alright, today Spirit encouraged us to talk about boundaries, my experience of boundaries. Oh, that was going to be a long and complex one. I was raised by a single mother who actually encouraged very strong boundaries within both my sister and I. We were, for as long as I can remember, for as young as I can go, my sister and I were both always treated with respect and with a voice. We were allowed to say no. She never made us hug anybody we didn't want to hug. She never, made us say things she was very encouraging in regards to independence. I'm not sure that my autistic butt gave her much room for, but gave her much room there, frankly. But so, in my isolated upbringing, I had mostly my mom and my sister, and so boundaries, you were allowed to state exactly what you felt, you were allowed to state exactly what you needed. Didn't mean that you always got it, because we were like kids, but we were at least allowed to express ourselves. When my mom got sick when I was 14, it's a TLDR, which will get covered in more detail elsewhere at a later time. Okay, I literally had to go back and watch it so I can remember where we were. Good old ADHD. So yes, my mother got sick when I was 14, and after that we were left to the care of others who were not as supportive of boundary holding. So it wasn't until a few years ago, I am in my upper 30s, y'all, so it wasn't until my mid-30s that I finally had enough therapy, enough support, and enough experience to understand that boundaries are the most beautiful form of love. They are the most beautiful way that we as humans can show our love to someone else. And I realize that sounds quite contrary to what we're feeling in the moment. Someone asks you to help them come move their dresser, but you had an extremely long day at work and you're exhausted. So you tell them no. And then immediately you feel horrible about yourself because you're inconveniencing this person, or whatever it is that your angry brain hamster is ruminating about on his wheel. At least that's how it is for me. And over time, the more I gave of myself, the more exhausted I became. The more I neglected my own boundaries for fear of being forgotten or not needed or not valued, whatever the reasons were in the moment. I wasn't valuing myself. And all that did was mean that I was showing up, sure, sometimes, but I also wasn't showing up as my best self. I was showing up exhausted. I was showing up tired. I was showing up, not really able to help at all because I was never refilling my tank. I was always expending and never taking time to prioritize and validate myself. We've got people talking. I'm going to try and get past. It's actually really funny. This particular distraction that just happened is bringing me back to work boundaries. I feel like here in America, this is not something that we're really taught. Here in America, we're expected to say yes, always show up on time, magically know when our schedule has been changed, even though we've been on vacation for a whole week, and then held at fault for it. And sure as heck, the majority of us, we can't say no. We have bills to pay, we have mouths to feed, and this is how we're taught. I personally have great hope in our rising generation. Unlike the generations before us who seem to get pretty pissy with change and, get angry and blame the younger generations, I want y'all to know, listen kids, I've got nothing but faith in you, all right? I trust you. I trust that your heart is leading society in the right place. I trust that you guys are learning from the historical mistakes of humanity that is literally in textbooks right in front of us, and you guys are going to do better. So younger generations, don't let the naysayers, don't let them stop you, okay? Keep being strong, keep being brave, keep knowing what's right, keep doing better than we've done, just as we've done better than they've done. All right, society only grows because we all work together and we all learn from our collective mistakes. So, back to work boundaries. I went on a super tangent there, so we're going to spiral back to work boundaries. I really can't help you guys on the work boundaries front. My own boss is me, and my boss is like super chill and super forgiving because they understand what it's like to be triple disabled here in America. So blessed that my boss is me. Thank me for giving me days off whenever I need them. But let's be honest, I can only do that because I have an extremely hard-working partner who helps take care of everything else, and not everyone has that benefit. So, work boundaries. I do not know the solution, but I do know that you're allowed to say no when it is right. And see, actually, I'd love if y'all in the comments, let's go ahead and link. There's bound to be professionals out there who are sharing their experience in how to better exercise personal boundaries within the work environment. That's definitely something that is in need of alteration here in America. And you know what, let's be honest, probably everywhere. My foggy brain is super rambly today. Having a hard time focusing. You all can listen to my storytelling and figure out what you do and don't want to learn from it. And in my case, what I learned is that not exercising boundaries was detrimental to my health. Not knowing how to say no has led me to chronic pain and chronic exhaustion and never feeling like I'm enough, always feeling like I'm a burden. These are hard pills to admit, especially when I'm somewhat of a happy-go-lucky nature. But it's true. Not being able to say no, not knowing how to hold and exercise healthy boundaries. Each time we let a boundary go, and each time we let someone take advantage of us, each time we give away a piece of our agency, we are betraying a piece of ourselves. And it's kind of sad, isn't it? Why is it everyone else in our lives deserves consideration and deserves space and deserves understanding, and I'm pretty crap at giving it to myself? I once heard a narrative that the wind offers us guidance even in its slightest movement, and it isn't by the sway of a tree that we're guided, but by the shifting of a plume feather. And isn't that really amazing? That we've got spirit on our side, helping shift and guide our perspectives. We're gonna take a seat. I'm a little foggy today. I once had a friend who I love dearly and who I sing the praises of and champion, and who also pushed past my boundaries so doubly even utilizing clinical language to manipulate the situation, that I had to cut this person off. And this was a person who is part of my chosen family, who's a part of my life. And I miss her all the time. I think about her all the time. And it's not yet time for me to reopen that connection because I'm not yet strong enough to be able to hold my boundaries against a personality type that is that educated in intellectually maintaining their environment. This is no fault on the other person. You know, they've developed their own survival mechanisms. And what works for them works for them. Doesn't work for me, though. And that's what boundaries are. I can't change this person. I can't ask this person to change. I wouldn't want to. Who am I to think that I know the right way to do things when the world is so full of amazing diversity? And even so, just because I can love and respect that this person's mind operates in a diverse fashion from my own, it didn't jive. And I had to cut someone off that I love dearly, and it still hurts me every day. It sucks. But I do it because I deserve peace. I got some messengers coming in from Spirit. So I've been rambling away on this walk. You have the ant showing up. The ant has been one of my dearest companions as I've learned my particular skill set in working with Spirit. They're a lovely personality to work with. Highly encourage. You know, whenever you're out on a walk and you see an ant hill, don't just pass it by. Take a moment, squat down, take a few breaths. You know, sit with it. These amazing creatures. We had a huge storm come through last night. Massive thunder, you know, woke us up at 2 a.m. It was pretty wild. And yet here these ants are. Their home got washed away, got squashed, and here they are, doing their work, trudging along, doing what they gotta do. It's pretty interesting to me how difficult it is to get back up when we've been knocked down. And sometimes expressing a boundary feels like getting knocked down. It feels like loss. It feels like getting punched in the gut. But at the end of the day, who are we serving if we're flaying ourselves to pieces for everyone else? Every time we get on an airplane, which is arguably still the safest way to travel, even with our current complexities. But every time we get on an airplane, what do they say? They say put on your oxygen mask first before putting on the oxygen mask of another. Did you know that there's a flight in which the pilots, something went wrong on the plane. They pulled out the book. I'm going to link information at the bottom because I'm probably getting some of these details wrong. Okay, so just roll with me here, though. You know, we've got a purpose. They pull out the book and they start going through the checklist. And before they can even properly go through the checklist, they passed out due to lack of oxygen. Through all of the safety things, the engineers had neglected to ensure that the pilots could breathe as the first step in any emergency scenario. From the devastating results of this particular flight, which did crash, and we lost all of those people. But what did happen is that the flight industry changed. They learned that step one, regardless of what's happening, is put on your oxygen mask. Ensure, pilots, that you can continue to breathe and get that energy to your brain in order to, you know, solve and survive what's happening. What does this have to do with boundaries, Spirit? Yes, right. We're talking about boundaries in regards to connections and in regards to work. So just like how pilots have to put on their oxygen masks in order to aptly fly the plane, regardless of what it is that you do, your job is important. What you do is important. You are holding up society in your own way. And in order to be able to do that well, you have to be able to put on your oxygen mask first. This means taking care of ourselves. That means exercising boundaries. Sometimes boundaries means saying no to that candy bar. Sometimes boundaries means saying no to that extra shift, even if you need the money, but you know that showing up for it will wear you out to the bone, and then you're going to miss your kid's birthday party. Okay? You know, boundaries come in a bunch of different shapes, and boundaries are not affecting the will of others. It is only what you are and aren't willing to accept. Look at him just trucking along, piece by piece, dismantling what was in order to feed the future. I have a feeling, though, if we all start working together, we all start learning how to exercise boundaries one by one. So we'll start learning to exercise our boundaries one by one, respectfully and with love. The world is going to get better. The world's going to get better, guys. It can only get better from here. Because each day you wake up, each day you're taking a breath, each day you're trying to live a good life, staying in right relationship, and that's amazing. That's amazing, okay? Whatever it is that you're doing, you wake up, you take a breath, you matter. So if no one else in your life has ever said this before, it's okay to say no. You're hearing it here, okay? It is all right to say no. It is all right to say yes. It is all right to cut someone off. It's all right to keep someone around and give them chances. There is no wrong answer except for ignoring yourself. Put on your own oxygen mask first. That way you can better love everyone else. Okay, there's a lot of rambling here. It's going to be so much editing. Ooh, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I thank you all for joining me on this walkie ramble. I look forward to continuing to get out more content each week. The plan is for 3 videos a week, and I'm learning how to balance my time. I'm learning how to set boundaries. I'm learning how to say yes and no. As much as I want to be that person who goes to the gym every day and makes a video all the time and is up on it, and I'm dead. I'm disabled. I'm a human, and I have to also self-care. So you guys are getting the best of me. I am absolutely giving this channel everything that I've got. I think about you guys all the time. I'm thinking about videos and working towards it all the time. So I appreciate your patience as we continue to get this information out there. I thank you, Spirit, for calling me and for being a part of my life. I wouldn't be here today if Spirit hadn't taught me boundaries. So, I love you all. Go in peace and be blessed. You are all loved exactly as you are.